How's it going, Nate?
Round 2, fight.
Yeah. Hit us. What's on your mind tonight?
I'm sorry about earlier. My browser was waiting on permission. So, Christy, I fully consent to whatever punishments that you wish to dole out. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to negotiate that later.
That's fine. That's fine. Do what you please. So, my husband and I of 10 years. We got an anniversary next month. Maybe it's 11 years. I better stop.
Yeah, I'd do the math real quick before you get too close. Yeah.
But we love daddy son role play. We love CNC. We do that shit all the time.
You're talking about consensual non-consent type role plays, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to lay that out for the audience a little bit.
Yes. So it's a rape fantasy. And I heard you guys say earlier that it's kind of not common, but I don't know. Like, it seems to me like you guys were literally describing like 2/3 of the gay content on Pornhub. Like that is, it's everywhere.
Yeah. Man. No, I don't mean to suggest that it's not common to explore fantasies of abuse. And it is, it's a meaningful part of human sexuality. And we can get into the ins and outs, thank you, and like the why of that and be here all night in a lot of ways. But more just to say that it's not a requisite and it's not maybe central to the caregiver little dynamic. Certainly abuse and caregiving, I want to say, can be kind of opposite sides of the same coin to a certain extent or from a particular light. And our sexuality is often about sort of playing through things by pushing them to the extreme, by pushing them and getting to see them from like different angles, or maybe play out as a fantasy something that would be a extreme version of what we experience or perhaps what we fear in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I wanted to talk about was, like, as I'm listening to you guys talk, I can hear the religious fundies in the back of my head, claiming that this is all evil and will lead down the slippery slope and this, that, and the other thing. So, like, to steel man their position a little bit, I think the objection to kink is that it will lead to in the case of daddy son, it might lead to pedophilia. In the case of BDSM, it might lead to domestic abuse. And I have yet to see any evidence at all that says that this is true. Right? Like, you don't have people that are engaging in healthy role play in BDSM going out and murdering people. You don't have people in the furry community going out and, having trigger warning. But, you don't see them going out and having sex with animals. Like, it just does not compute. It doesn't transfer that way. And if anything, like the opposite would be true, right? Like, if you were able to live out a fantasy in a healthy, normal way, it might discourage you from actually going out, right? Like, I don't think anybody that is into CNC has a higher likelihood of going out and raping people. That's not what this is about. And I think that that's the major objection that I hear from those who don't understand it. And I just wanted to hear what you two thought about that.
I can't think of anything you said that I strongly disagree with. I've been in a CGL pet owner relationship with a number of people, yet I have a 100% success rate of not having sex with actual animals. So, I understand why they have to present this slippery slope, but it stems completely from ignorance and out of a sense of wanting to instill that fear. It's like, don't even begin to look into it. How often have we heard that in church settings? It's like, you know what? If you kiss, If you even so much as kiss, you're going to be tempted to do more. So don't even bother with the kissing, right? That purity culture gets instilled in there so early.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to be
Please.
cavalier in pointing this out, but it's worth noting that that same this will lead to that. A bunch of steps are missing. This will all lead to people having sex with animals. That same rationale was applied to gay marriage for years and years in our culture. And so it's a flawed argument to be sure.
It's a flawed
Puck, I
argument,
didn't
but
mean to
it's
interrupt you there.
no, it's a flawed argument, but it's scary, and that's why it works, right? Like
Sure.
you think all the way back to Music Man, it's like that's trouble or starts with T, which rhymes with P, which stands for pool or whatever, where they draw all these weird connections. Like if you even begin to deviate from this path that I have carefully laid out before you, the only possible outcome is going to be eternal torment, and it stops people from being able to meaningfully get some good education about what this actually is. So we're not even fighting against what it actually is. We're fighting against a stereotype of what other people who have no understanding of it, who have never engaged with it, who have never engaged with anybody in conversation who engages in it, and they're taking whatever they say as gospel truth. Sorry, I was just playing Jehovah's Advocate there. And the best way to figure this out is to actually talk to people who engage. Talk to someone who talk to people who are on both sides of consensual non-consent and see what it does for them and see what the difference is between someone who engages in CNC and someone who wants to engage with that but without the C part of the CNC. There's such a huge difference in there. I don't know that I can meaningfully convey that difference in one show, in one phone call, but goodness, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to, instead of having that assumption made for me. Kind of soapbox there for a second. Sorry, Christy.
Nah, I mean that's what we are here to do on certain topics, and this is one of those, I think.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the biggest pushbacks that I have with CGL relationships. It's
sentence.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Puck.
No,
Go ahead, Puck.
The one thing that I wish people understood about CGL relationships is that there are people who resonate with both sides of them. And there are people who resonate as being a little. There are people who resonate as being a caregiver. There's nothing wrong with either one. They find each other and they have good, meaningful relationships with it. But there's nothing wrong about it. And then you have people on the outside, like people who are religious or people who don't understand this and say, well, this just seems wrong. Well, talk to us. That's why we're here. Figure it out from us and from littles and from caregivers. What do we get out of it? Why do we like to do this? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I can sum it up in one sentence, and that is that I treat my man like a queen outside of the bedroom so that I get the privilege of treating him like my bitch in the bedroom. And it's that simple.
If that's the relationship that y'all have agreed on, it's been working for all these years. Why end now?
We have a great time. Exactly.
All right. Well, I do.
Call, guys.
Yeah. No. Thank you so much. I appreciate hearing from you.